Hey, and welcome back. Ever since I hear and play electronic music, I also collecting vinyl and just for my private amusement. And in the future I also buy a second vinyl player, but at the same time I was interested in combining my modular with the vinyl. So I bought this module here, and it's the in-amp from reverb, and what it does is that it brings line level signal into a modular signal, so it's an amplifier. And so I thought, okay, let's just combine these two worlds. And recently I had a gig. And as you can see, I combined these two, as I mentioned. And today I want to show you how I combine it. And I never saw it in this kind of combination. Of course, there are some videos about using the filters of modular for vinyl, but I never saw how to combine envelopes with the vinyl and actually use them for a rhythmic purpose. We start with this vinyl here. It's from 1988, and it's very atmospheric. The name is Satellite Images. And the reason I use mainly like ambient textural music is, of course, that if I use a certain beat, it's very hard to match it with the modular, because I only want the atmosphere of the sound. And the next step is I want to explain to you how I connect it with modular. I have two inputs. One input is for just feed it into the modular. I will make an example. And now we can, of course, use all the effects I have in my case. So, for example, the Electus Versio, it's reverb/delay algorithm. So now you hear only the effect. Good to know is that you only hear like one channel of the vinyl. So the input, of course, I use the left and the right input of the vinyl, but right now you heard only one channel. You could say mono channel, and then I use the effect here to make it stereo again. Of course, you can use the left and right channel and play it simultaneously to remain the stereo image of the vinyl. But in this case, it isn't necessary because I only want the ambient sound, and I bring back the stereo effect with the modular. And also I use the other channel for, and that is now the more important, the more important method how I use the vinyl in the modular is I use the envelopes of the quadranted swarm. So the other channel goes directly into the external input of the quadranted swarm. And the quadranted swarm has a sequencer, like an 8-step sequencer. We can hear an example of the sequencer. So the kick is from the DFM and this melody is from the quadranted swarm. But you can also use, like I said, the external input. And when you use the input, then everything which goes to the input uses the envelopes of the quadranted swarm. And that sounds like this. So now you hear the vinyl into the quadranted swarm. Yeah, very nice. Very nice. Yeah, as you can hear, it's very. It makes much fun to play with these settings because you sample the vinyl, but the vinyl plays itself, of course, and never has a repetition. Yeah, and so. Every time you hear the vinyl, it's another extract of this track here. Then important is that the external in also benefits from the filters. So here we have a high pass filter. You can also make it a low pass filter. So right now it's high pass. And the second filter is a low pass filter. I use this here for cutting out a little bit of the lows from the vinyl and a little bit of the highs. So when I play the vinyl again, I play a little bit with the filter and you'll hear how that changes the sound. Okay, very nice. Then I also introduced a bass that fits with the pitch of this track. Yeah, and another very cool thing is that you can also use the spring reverb of the quadranted swarm, because the quadranted swarm has a spring reverb, and it's not just digital, it's an actual spring which is inside this modular case. And for this I use another vinyl. This here is Geräusche in stereo, and it translates to sounds in stereo. It's actually one of the first sample libraries, and it's from 1975, so almost 40 years ago, 50 years I mean. Yeah, and the sounds on this are, for example, children playing, or a man working in the kitchen, or you hear a vacuum cleaner, or a clock ticking. So just sounds from the all-day life, and I use it to alter the sound, or have a little ambience for the modular, because sometimes the modular sounds a little static or boring, but if you bring actual organic sounds into it, it makes everything a little bit more interesting. The first sound here translates to in the kitchen. Every sound you hear are sounds from the kitchen, like for example a fork on the table, and we can hear how that sounds. Okay. And if we use the spring reverb here, it gives a nice texture. Yeah, as you can hear, the spring gives like overtones, and maybe I do this in this video. You hear the spring even more if you lift the modular case and let it fall on the table. Then the spring, of course, has a little shake, and you hear it also in the sound. Okay. Every time I let the modular case fall on the table, you heard a little bit more of the spring reverb. And I wanted to show you that you can have this organic feeling when combining the spring reverb with the vinyl. And with this module here, you can, of course, connect your phone or your model cycles or whatever into the modular and use the spring reverb, the filter, and so on and so on. Maybe I will make another videos where I use other instruments and show you the advantages. But I think you got now what I do with the Codante Swarm. And the last thing I want to show you is using drone sound on the vinyl. Okay, I have one more example for you, because I want to show you that you can also use melodies on the vinyl, and it doesn't matter if it's in the right BPM, because the melody, when it goes through the Codante Swarm, or of course you can use any other envelope, then yeah, it's not so important that it's the same BPM. We hear the vinyl, and then I come up with the beat. Okay, this is the beat, or I mean the vinyl itself, and now we force it into the envelopes. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.